civilization popping up all around the world. Indeed, on any archaeological site where you're underwater for best part of 10,000 years, which means that megalithic site is at least that old and maybe much older. And we can be sure about the dating because it's underwater. Likewise, we can be sure of the dating of Göbekli Tepe because whoever made it deliberately buried it, sealed it, and no later organic material got in.
Time period buried it.
Like somebody buried it.
Right.
They went
we don't know when it was built, but we know it's buried at least 10,000 plus years
ago. The dates
ago, right?
that are coming out of it now, the earliest dates. Now, it's important to be clear that there's much more of Göbekli Tepe under the ground.
Right.
There's actually about 50 times as much as has already been excavated, which is under the ground still and not been dug up yet. They know it's there because they've been over the whole site with ground-penetrating radar, and what they're seeing is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these huge 20 to 50 ton T-shaped megalithic pillars buried under the ground. Just as somebody went to enormous lengths to create this site, they also, or somebody else, went to enormous lengths to bury it. And actually, Göbekli Tepe means pot-bellied hill in the Turkish language. And that whole pot-bellied hill that covers this site was artificially put there by human beings, teams of men and women with buckets filled with rubble and stones, filling it in and covering it up.
So strange. And there's no guesses or theories as to why they did this?
Really not. There's not. It's just a fact that it happened because archaeologists and geologists can tell from the nature of the material that covers these pillars that it isn't a natural sedimentation, that they were deliberately covered up.
Well, it's got to be satisfying to you guys. Two obsessed crazy men come together and your theories lock in like puzzle pieces and ha-ha! And
well, you've got the right word there because
obsessed
this is
crazy man.
Yes, definitely.
Well, I'm glad you're obsessed crazy man. I say that with all love and respect.
I put my hand up to that. Absolutely, you've got to be a bit obsessed to stick with something like this. I came in for an enormous amount of criticism and flack when I published Fingerprints of the Gods, and I'm human. It hurts when people say really bad things about me, but what I've learned is you just have to persist. You just have to keep going, even if your ideas are shouted down by the established holders of knowledge in our society. If you feel strongly enough about those ideas, you've got to hang with them. And I've hung with these ideas for more than 20 years now, and what we're seeing is just a mass of new evidence that basically vindicates the notion of a lost civilization. See, if I may say, Göbekli Tepe, the earliest dates they've pulled out of the ground now, which they think is the foundation of the site, is 11,600 years ago. And that is really significant because 11,600 years ago was the second episode of cataclysm at the end of the Younger Dryas. And we know it was accompanied by massive global flooding.
Is it possible that this was covered up then? That it wasn't covered up intentionally by people? That it was covered up as a part of that cataclysm?
No, it was made after the cataclysm was over. And archaeologists have a problem with this because the site is very sophisticated.